So there's one thing that sometimes confuses people when we talk about respiration, and that's we use that same word um, to mean kind of two different things. Do you remember from junior high the respiratory system? You know what system that is or what it's related to? Yeah, your lungs, breathing. But that's a different respiration than the one we're talking about today. The one we're talking about today is we often refer to it as cellular respiration. It happens inside of cells. It's a different process than breathing and the respiratory system. They're kind of related because they both are about oxygen and carbon dioxide, but this is a slightly different cellular respiration is what's happening inside of cells, a chemical process that happens. So that's what we're talking about. And cellular respiration basically takes energy that's stored in glucose, that's sugar, carbohydrate, and transforms that energy into a different type that we call ATP. So you got that top line right. So when we were talking about photosynthesis, we said glucose in the bonds of the molecule has energy, stores energy. And respiration gets that energy out of it and turns it into a form that's usable. So this molecule, ATP, it's a really important molecule. Lots of things have energy in them. Right? Does gasoline have energy in it? And you could put it in a car, and the engine will turn the energy in the gasoline into energy to move it. Does a piece of wood, a firewood, does that have energy in it? Yeah, if you burn it, that energy can release as heat and light that you see. Lots of different things have energy in it. Glucose, a sugar, has energy in it. But all those things have energy, but it has to be in a usable form to be helpful. Right? If I have a gallon of gasoline and I need to charge my phone, should I pour a gallon of gasoline into my charging port? Obviously, right? No. Should I put a piece of firewood in my car engine? No. The energy has to be transformed into a form that's usable. What's the form of energy usable by our phone? Electricity. Is there a way I could take gasoline and transform the energy to electricity? Yeah. A generator is a little piece of equipment with gasoline in it. You start it up, and it transforms gasoline energy into electricity that you could put into your phone to charge your phone. Okay? So that same kind of concept happens in cells. Right? Glucose has energy, but it's not the type of energy the cell actually needs to do stuff. The type of energy the cell needs to do stuff is this one, ATP. So respiration just transforms the energy from a form in glucose to a usable form in ATP. It's a whole bunch of steps. It's really complex. We're not going to get into all of the details of respiration. I'll show you what some of them look like. But what really is happening is enzymes, which we've talked about, proteins, catalyze a reaction. That speed up a reaction in which the glucose is broken down into some byproducts and ATP is formed. There's really two types of respiration, aerobic and anaerobic. Aerobic is the type of respiration that uses oxygen, okay, that our muscles are doing most of the time. It's also a type of respiration that doesn't use oxygen. And this is one that's actually, we use it lots of times in producing different types of foods, in fermented products. Anaerobic respiration takes place. Do you know like something that a person might eat or drink that's fermented? And you know that word? Ever heard that word? There are some things that use anaerobic respiration. Um, Yogurt. Okay, when you look in the ingredients of yogurt, you'll see it has certain bacteria in there that are useful in producing what makes the yogurt sort of tart. Wine, beer, alcoholic products are made through fermentation. Um, Vinegars and sauerkraut and all sorts of different things use anaerobic respiration. But we're going to focus on aerobic respiration. So if you remember photosynthesis, we learned the chemical equation, right? We learned what the molecules that are required to go through the process. Aerobic respiration. Let me sorry, I should have showed you that. What gas did photosynthesis need? Which gas from the air was required for photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide. And what gas is produced in photosynthesis and released? Respiration is the opposite. Respiration requires oxygen. It takes in oxygen. And it produces ATP. Aerobic respiration produces a lot of ATP. It's not on your slide? On the previous one? Okay, I might have deleted it from there. That's okay. So let me look at yours.
Oh, it's on here, it's just in a different order.
Oh, I just added. Oh, yeah, yeah. I just skipped a couple slides.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
See you later, no problem.
See you later.
So yeah, this is I deleted a couple slides because they're kind of extra stuff. This is what's really important. Maybe draw a box around it. Equation. Yeah, this one here. This is we want to make sure we circle or highlight because you'll have to come back to that a bunch of times. So does some of that stuff look familiar? Should be all of it probably now looks familiar. What is this thing? C6H12O6, glucose. So that's what's needed. It's on the left side. It's one of the reactants. So we need glucose, we need oxygen, and that will, in the mitochondria, that will produce three things. ATP, which is what we're trying to get energy, and also waste products, water and oxygen. Okay, that's the equation for respiration. Now, does that look similar to photosynthesis? Yeah. What's photosynthesis sort of? Photosynthesis is almost the opposite, right? Because photosynthesis, we had oxygen, water, and we needed sunlight, which is energy, produced glucose and oxygen. So really, they're kind of reverses of each other. And that might help you to remember the different processes.